Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Closer to Hope. Today I will be going over Emma Walker. Yes, I know the story is old, however, it's very important and it's personal in my opinion because I've gone through something similar that she has gone through. So I wanted to raise awareness on behalf of her situation. Now, Emma Walker was 16 years old. She was a cheerleader, a beautiful blonde girl, and she loved people. She loved helping people. She wanted to do nursing after school. And she just seemed like a very good and high spirited person. And everything that happened to her was sad, but it could have been prevented because I know what it's like to be in her situation. She had gotten with a senior when she was 16. His name was Ryan Gaul. He was a football player. She was a cheerleader. So, in everyone's eyes, it's picture perfect. However, throughout the 2 years that they were together, they had a very unstable relationship where they broke up a lot and fought a lot. Now, in front of people, they were picture perfect. However, every relationship has its problems and every relationship has closed doors that don't want to be opened. With her situation, she started to change a lot because of the way he was treating her. He started getting very possessive over her and he would try to control her as much as he could. He would tell her how to dress and how not to dress. He wouldn't want to hang out with her friends or talk to her friends or meet them, and he would pretty much take up all of her time when she was around her family, so she couldn't spend time with her family. And he would also say very rude and just very disrespectful things to her when they fought. Like, he would call her the B word, or he would threaten her and other things. And all those behaviors is abuse. It's mental abuse. It may not be physical, but it is a form of abuse. And her parents saw that. They started to notice more and more after time when they were together that they didn't like the way he talked to her. And so they did try to split them up. Unfortunately, she loved him. And unfortunately, they did everything they could to stay together. There was even a time where her mom took away her phone and said he wasn't allowed to come over. And so during that time, he bought her a iPod Touch so that they could message each other, and then he would sneak in every time her parents left. And her parents finally caught on to that, so then he just wasn't allowed over, period. After a while, when he left to college, the relationship just got worse and worse, and so she finally seen how she changed, because when you're in that type of situation, you do change. It's not that it's on purpose. It's more like someone controls you to the point where you just you can't think for yourself. You can't do anything for yourself. You just think that everything you do is wrong, and you just want to make the person you love happy because you think that they love you. But in actuality, they do not love you. They want to control you. They say it's love, but you don't. Controlling someone is not love. I don't care what they say. It's not love. If they loved you, they wouldn't try to change you. They wouldn't take you away from your friends and family. They wouldn't make you unhappy in that way whatsoever. That's not what love is. That's not a relationship at all. And so she finally started to see the damage that she was doing and how she didn't spend time with her parents anymore. And so she ended up breaking up with him. Now, after that, she did try to move on, but he started acting crazy and strange at the same time. There was a point where she went to a sleepover after a football game, and she got weird texts that were threatening his life and everything, and she was very scared by it, and she didn't know what to do. Her and her friends heard something outside. When she went outside, there was a person in the driveway, and it was him. And in all honesty, like, her reaction was hilarious to me because she didn't believe a damn thing that it was true. Not a damn thing. He was laying in the driveway saying that he got kidnapped, and he tried to act like he got hit over the head or something, just like very, very confused. And her reactions, honestly, I think her reaction is great, because why would you believe your ex with this bogus story that he can't back up with anything after everything that he put you through? Like, I would not believe that for anything, in all honesty. And so she didn't believe him, and she told him to leave, which, thank God, honestly, thank God. I think she's very strong for that and not take it to be the truth whatsoever. And I think that's great, because he wasn't being truthful and he was lying just to get her back. And so after that incident, there was also another incident where she was home alone and her mom had just left to work, and she had been stalked. Like, some guy dressed in all black with a hoodie, after she just got home, he went up to the door and started banging on the door. And it's like, she freaked out. And that's, that's a really normal response for anyone. I mean, you're home alone, you're a girl, there's no one to help you, like, and there's some random stranger that stalked you and followed you on your way home. And then when you got into your house, they were banging on your door. Like, that would scare the crap out of anybody, in all honesty. And so the only problem is, instead of her, calling her mom or, calling the police, she called Ryan, which I do understand, because she's comfortable around him. She's comfortable around him. She was with him for 2 years, so that's completely understandable. However, of course, when we're in love, we're not going to think that someone we love is going to mess with us like that or try to get us back in such desperate terms, in all honesty, especially when they have issues like that. But he did, and it was him. She just didn't know it. But as soon as she called him, he turned up at her house, surprisingly, and he consoled her and everything. So then after that, he kept saying how he missed her and he wanted to get back with her, and she just wasn't having it. So on the night of November 20th, she was asleep in her bed, and Dad heard like a pop noise. He did get up right away and he checked on her, and he seen in the dark that she was sleeping and that she was okay. But in the morning, after the noise went away, in the morning, her mom got up and tried to wake her up, and unfortunately what she found wasn't what anyone would want to find. She thought her daughter was sleeping. She tried to touch her legs, tried to call her name. Closer to her, she noticed she wasn't breathing, so she called 911 and she panicked. Unfortunately, when the paramedics came and the police, Emma Walker was already pronounced dead. Now, this was a mystery because no one knew how she died. Everyone assumed it was suicide. I don't think she would ever do that, especially when she let go of the one thing that was dragging her down. No one actually knew what happened to her at first. It was a complete mystery until they actually started looking into it. And so the first thing they found was blood on her pillow. And so either they thought it was a suicide, or they thought that she had taken drugs and maybe overdosed or something like that. They found that she had a hole in her head, and then when they checked the wall, they noticed that there was 2 holes in the wall. Now, the wall she had for her house, it kind of reminds me of like a mobile home, so I could imagine that anything would just go straight through. Like, it's not durable whatsoever. I mean, that's just my opinion. That's what it looked like to me, but it just looks like the wall wasn't that sturdy, and so anything could just go through, and maybe it didn't make a sound because of what the material is made of, and that's why it wasn't so loud. But when they went outside, they also saw the holes, and they investigated it, and they found out that she had been shot in the head that night, that is how she died. And, it's really sad because, I mean, how I am, if I hear something, like, I'm just very, very paranoid. And so, like, I check on everybody. That's just how I am. Like, I check on everybody, make sure they're breathing and stuff, just because, I mean, I don't know, anything can happen. Her dad did check on her, and, he just thought she was asleep, and it sucks that she was already dead by then. It's just very sad that she died in that way, and, no one knew who killed her at first. However, of course, everyone's gonna point to the last person that saw her ex-boyfriend, Ryan Gaul. Now, with him, right away when he heard that she had died, he posted on Twitter this whole remembrance of her and how he loved her and everything. And, it pretty much seemed like no one was convinced by it. It just seemed weird. And there was also, like, text messages to her before she died saying, like, how desperate he was and how he wanted her back and how he won't love anyone else as much as her and all that stuff. And it's unfortunate because he started going down the deep end. He started acting really weird. And so his friends actually set him up. When they noticed that he was going downhill and that he was acting very strange, they called the police about it because he had said that he had his grandfather's gun, and his grandfather's gun, same make and model of the gun that was used to kill Emma. And so, of course, the friends are going to do something about it, regardless if Ryan is their friend. Like, they knew Emma too, and they didn't like how he was acting, and they suspected him, so they wore a wire and they got him to talk. And at first he denied that he had anything to do with it, but then he said that he needed to get rid of the gun and that, he doesn't want anything to happen to him, even though he didn't do anything. He still needs to get rid of the gun. If you didn't do anything, then why do you need to get rid of evidence? Like, common sense. He said he wanted to get rid of the gun in, like, a lake in Knoxville. And so he took them there. And it was scary because this whole time the friends had a wire on, and they were just, really nervous because he was the one holding a gun. And it's like, the police are following them to make sure everything goes to plan, because the police helped them set up this whole plan to get him arrested because they knew that he had something to do with it, especially since he had the gun. And they went to an area close to the lake, and that's when one of the friends just grabbed the gun and was just looking at it and was just, trying to talk him down and just get more out of him. And at that time, it's very risky because, I mean, you took a gun from someone that could just attack you or anything like that. But it was very risky, but I think it was very brave for the friends to do that and to get justice for Emma. Because with them risking their lives like that, they got Ryan arrested. He tried to say in court that it was an accident, that he only wanted to scare her into her running back into his arms and getting back together. But common sense tells you that that's not the truth. Like, if you pretended to be kidnapped, if you stalked her and pretended to be some guy in a hoodie, then why would it be an accident to shoot her? That makes no sense at all. His personality alone, his controlling persona, his abusiveness towards her with mental behavior, that alone should tell you that it was on purpose. If he couldn't have her, no one could have her. If he wasn't happy, she couldn't be happy, period. It is a sad story, and when I read it, it's very personal to me because these things happen all the time. And it's unfortunate because, when you're in a relationship like that, it can be very difficult to leave. I was in a relationship like that for 7 years. I went through both mental and physical abuse. Now I know people are going to say, well, why didn't you leave? It's not easy. When someone breaks you down to the point where you just don't know who you are anymore, it's like you have no escape. Like, you can't go anywhere. You can't do anything. You can't get help from anyone because you're so scared of the person you're with. You're so terrified of the person you're with. And I was with him for 7 years, and, you know, I've heard the same old thing. I'll never do it again. I'm sorry. And it still happened all the time. And most of the times it happened literally for no reason, like at all. No reason. I got hit all the time for no reason. For me speaking my mind, for me choosing my parents over him, for me talking to guys that weren't him, just, you know, little things. And it sucks because during that whole relationship, I was so broken down. I didn't recognize myself. I grew distant from my parents because he was jealous of them. He was jealous of anything I did or who I talked to. He was very manipulative and controlling. I couldn't go anywhere without him. I couldn't dress the way I wanted without him. A very hard situation. Took a lot out of me. It totally changed who I was. I was just this very nice, caring, sweet person, and he changed me into a very depressed person that wanted to end their life because they couldn't escape. And I was terrified of him. I did try leaving him multiple times, and I was completely terrified of him, that something would happen to me and something would happen to my parents or my family. Like Emma, I did stand up to him. I had a baby, and I chose my baby over him completely. I showed him that I wasn't afraid of him anymore because my son is the only thing that has ever mattered. And that night, I showed him that he couldn't do anything to me anymore. And so I threatened him back, and I got in his face. And I honestly scared the living crap out of him. He almost cried. Like, he realized that he couldn't push me around anymore. He realized that he couldn't have a hold over me anymore when I did that. And after that, I left him, and he got help he needed after we separated. And in all honesty, I regret the relationship, but I don't regret how I've changed, because I went from a really nice person that just took everything from everybody, and I grew so strong, and I fight for myself all the time and everyone around me, and I just have so much strength in me that I don't let anyone push me around anymore. And I just think it's a very hard thing to solve, because a lot of people do end up in a situation like Emma's, where someone unfortunately loses a life, or just drastic measures that aren't needed at all. Completely understandable, because it is scary to leave a relationship like that, because you never know what they're going to do to you. And it's not just boys. Girls do the same thing. There's girls that will abuse their men that they're with, and it's not okay. Abuse should never be in a relationship. Whether it's mental or physical, it should never be in a relationship. That's not love. It's just controlling someone. It's just wanting someone to be under you, and that's all it is. That's all it ever is. That's why I wanted to talk about Emma Walker, because I felt really bad about her story, and it brought up a lot of memories for my story, because in all honesty, that could have happened to me. I got threats all the time. That could have happened to me. That could have been me. And I'm thankful every day that I survived, and I just wish that Emma did survive. I just wish that he would have just left her alone. But unfortunately, some people just need help. The point of this video is to remember Emma Walker and to raise awareness on abuse. It's not okay for mental abuse. It's not okay for physical abuse. None of it is okay. You don't treat anybody like that. You don't do that to someone. You don't take away everything that they are and change them into someone they don't want to be. It's just not okay. That's not what a relationship is. There is going to be more Emmas out there. There's going to be more Ryans. And the roles are going to be switched too. There's going to be more stories like this, because people don't understand how to deal with the situation. They don't know how to move past it. They don't know how to get help. Even if they know they have a problem, they won't get it because they're selfish. It's just a very hard situation, and I just want to help anyone I can. Guys, I just wanted to thank you for waiting for this video. It did take me a while because I was sick and I lost my voice, unfortunately. But my voice is back, yay! And I just want to thank you guys, of course, for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. I try to find time to do them because I have so much going on with work and everything. So thank you guys. I love that you guys are supporting me, and I love that you guys are watching my videos. It really means a lot. It makes me want to do it even more. And I just want to say, rest in peace, Emma. You were a very beautiful person. As for Ryan, he's getting what he deserves in jail. He's getting a life sentence. He could have had 2 life sentences, but he's getting 1, and honestly, that's as good as it's going to get, and that's acceptable. He needs to be in there for the rest of his life after what he did to her for no reason. But anyways, guys, subscribe to me, leave comments, follow me on Instagram, Twitter. All the links are there. There's also a link for people that are suffering from abuse. There's also a link for TWLOHA. If you guys want to learn more, you can ask me or visit the site. It's a very important site. And again, thanks for watching. If you guys haven't watched Molly Tibbetts, please give it a look. Thanks for watching Closer to Hope. I will be posting a video within a week. And check out my other videos if you haven't already had the chance. And hit me up. Thank you guys.